Welcome to Tunnel Talk, where we discuss all things indoor skydiving and tunnel flying. So we're here at IFLY Downunder in Sydney with the four-way team, the Uprising.
Right. Yeah, it's not a full four-way team at the moment. Our player coach Rob Thompson isn't here, so we've got Clementine from the French team helping us out for the last 3 days.
So you guys have been training full on for the last week and a half or so with two of the world's best. So Clementine from the French four-way women's team, and your partner Dennis from Team Hayabusa, two world champions. So how's that to be able to coach here in Sydney, Australia, with two of the world's best?
Well, for us, it's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, we know anything that we're doing wrong is just completely exposed, so we know it's definitely us. Over the course of the last week or so, we've done 7 hours, a combination with all four of us with Dennis outside coaching. 2-on-2 day with Samantha and myself with Dennis and Clementine, which was pretty indulgent. And then the last 3 days with Clementine being our player coach. And the last 3 days have been really hard. It's been great.
And how are the guys going, Clementine?
Oh, it goes really well, especially today. You can see it on the video. It was the hard work we did yesterday, especially pay on. It's really nice.
And I think that's one of the great things, as Dennis was saying, if you go back 10 years, 15 years, tunnels were originally a tool for skydivers. Fast forward 10 or 15 years and it's now an indoor sport in its own right. So some of you guys have outdoor skydives, but you're an indoor four-way team. Mm-hmm. Obviously, over the last decade or so, tunnels have turned into a sport in its own right, indoor skydiving. Like Clementine, you skydive outdoors and indoors. How much have you seen the sport change indoors with the tunnels developing into a sport? There's indoor World Cups, there's indoor World Championships.
You can see so much of young people coming, and you can see this little guy maybe behind us. He's so small, and people can start flying very, very soon compared to what they can by skydiving. I start at 15, and this is the youngest you can try. Indoor, you can start at 3. It's awesome, and this helps a lot to the development.
Yeah, and I think what I find, what I think's great, you guys are now an indoor team. You're competing neck and neck with outdoor skydivers at the indoor competitions.
Yeah, that's right. So our next comp is the World Cup in Belgium in a few weeks' time. We've got a couple more training sessions between now and then. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And you guys are competing in the four-way open. Yep. What are your ambitions for the Australian Indoor Nationals? Have you set your sights on a particular goal for the Australian Nationals?
We do have a goal of a specific average point score.
Are you going to tell us?
No, not yet. We want to see how we get on in Belgium first of all.
You'll keep that under your sleeve. So just to give an idea, like how much work and time is involved with you guys training, leading up to a World Cup?
Well, this year this is the first year for this team, and it's the first year for Samantha in AAA. So we've been pretty overindulgent. I think by the time we get to the World Cup, we would have trained about 25 hours, something like that, and almost all of it being fully coached. So.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's something in the order of the equivalent of about 1,600 outdoor skydives or thereabouts. Each minute in the each hour in the tunnel is probably worth 70 or 80 outdoor jumps. So if you've done that much time, it's a lot of jumps in skydiving terms.
Absolutely, yeah, the maths adds up for that, I'm sure, but yeah.
And I think that's one of the amazing things, what the tunnels, whether you're an outdoor team, an indoor team, some of the vision will show of you guys, you can be sitting in the briefing room talking, reviewing your dives. You'll jump in and fly with the input of the coaches. You'll hop out. You can look at the video when you get out. You can talk. In the beauty of such world-class coaches, such as Clementine, Dennis, you can see them even mid-flight. You're stopping, getting feedback, and then continuing flying.
Yeah, this has been quite an eye-opening experience, really. Like I said, everything's been exposed for us, and we stop and start all the way through it and get instant feedback and get an opportunity to fix it straight away.
And have you trained? We were talking earlier to Kermit, the chief instructor here. So this is a 16.5-foot tunnel, one of the larger tunnels. Have you done any training in small tunnels?
Well, we do train at the Gold Coast Tunnel, and we're going to do a small amount of time in a tunnel over in is it France? or Belgium?
In Belgium.
In Belgium, just before the World Cup itself, which is on an identical size tunnel.
And the competition tunnel will be 14 foot, obviously, yeah. How do you find training in the smaller tunnel compared to the bigger tunnel? Is there any stuff you need to take into consideration that affects your training?
Yeah, well, we hit the wall a bit more with our knees. I've never flown in a 14-foot tunnel before, but we have done four-way in a 12-foot tunnel a few times, and we just change the shape of a few things and have to fly much more closer to each other and, you know, cog with each other much better to make sure we don't keep clashing. But you know, with a 12-footer, it's invariable. You're going to hit the wall a few times. So, yeah.
And I guess question for you, Clementine, the difference, although the tunnel, when you're watching four-way, might look similar indoors, the training environment indoors is obviously very different to outdoors. Obviously, when you're building the exit on the doorway in the tunnel, you're straight in the tunnel, and that first point in that first second is really critical for your competition points, but judging indoors. So outdoors, obviously, you're exiting off the plane, you've got that first 10 seconds on the slope, but indoors, you're in the tunnel and straight into turning the points.
Yeah, for sure. When you jump, but I mean, as soon as you get out from the plane or from the door, you start your jump. So you need to be as efficient as you can. And in the tunnel, it's different because you are terminal speed right away, so you can already not be at your 100% for sure, but at least 80%. So you can nicely start your jump and slowly speed up, and then touch your maximum and keep it. And yeah, when you jump, you have this 10 seconds, but they are so critical. Now with the tunnel, you can train so much on your final speed that finally it's easy after the 10 first seconds. The better team is when after the exit they are good in the air. That's it. Yeah.
And so, just wrapping it up. Good luck with the World Cup. But what would you say to people who are one of the questions I often get asked by people here at the tunnel? They're just watching or doing their first flight. They say, you know, these guys must be practicing for outdoor skydiving. You know, if people are curious about how to get into the sport of indoor skydiving, is it difficult? It's easy. You can come down here to IFLY Downunder or any of the tunnels. You're flying within half an hour. It's easy to get involved in the sport of indoor skydiving.
Absolutely, indoor skydiving is accessible to pretty much everybody, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I don't know anyone that can't do it. Yeah, there's the facilities are fantastic here. You can just wander in, hours notice, get a bit of a briefing. And I mean, we've had teammates that just did a first flight maybe a year or so ago, and you know, now they compete at the Australian Indoor Nationals. So yeah, it's very accessible.
Yep, and I think, and like Clementine, you've obviously travelled a lot of tunnels around the world. You know, I know IFLY Downunder here in Sydney have got a kids program. You know, getting all the kids involved, the junior flyers. It's such amazing to see to be able to get people into the sport that young, and they're flying right alongside outdoor sky and competing with outdoor skydiving.
Yeah, that's for sure. What is nice with the indoor thing is you can share so much. It's easy to look at it and to have your coach on the outside looking at you and giving you your correction. When you jump, it's not so easy. It takes a lot of time to go up, and then you go down really fast, and there is a lot of thing around your jump. Here you can just go for half an hour and just work on your bad moves and just keep working on it until it's done. And yeah, it helps a lot. Yeah.
All right, so good luck at the World Cup, guys. And Clementine, what's your next event that your team is heading for?
The event is going to be the Shamrock in Zephyr Hills. We're going to do it in 4-way female and 8-way. Good
luck, and I'm sure everyone will be watching the live streams, cheering everyone on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thanks.